viewers, Rectangular back, this time with another haul video. Here we have the Marvel Legends Rhino wave. So I was lucky enough to find the entire wave at Target, and I already had my pre-order coming from Toys R Us, which included all of the figures except for Chameleon. I was able to grab them when they were on sale, but the only figure they did not have at the time was Chameleon. They since went up again for $22 today, and Chameleon sold out within probably 4 or 5 hours. So yeah, he's still going to be the most sought after from the group of this group or wave. So definitely don't hesitate on grabbing him if you see him in the wild. But yeah, I'm going to look through all of the figures from both sets that I'm getting, with the exception of Chameleon. This is the only one I have, and we'll go over the paint applications on them, since all the reviews have already been done by my friend Dominic, aka Advocate Pinoy, and Shartimus Prime is in the process of reviewing the entire wave right now. So let's get these guys and gals out of the package. Here we've got all the figures out of their packages and the Rhino Build-A-Figure assembled, and very happy. I think Hasbro did a really good job on this wave. A few QC issues, not as bad as a lot of the previous waves that we've been getting. I did have 2 sets to go through and pick out the best ones, so I'm going to give you my impressions of how the 2 sets that I was able to get turned out. This is by far the best Scarlet Spider of the 3 that I've seen. He does have a little bit of dried mold release right at the neckline of his hoodie, which that can be brushed off pretty easily. That figure has already been sold to my friend Michael Wisman, who is a big fan of that character, so he's going to be getting multiples of those. One thing I noticed is that the leg on the spider right before the ab crunch, on some of them the leg goes right into the corner of the articulation there, the gap for the ab crunch. So I would advise you to look for one that has the leg on the outside. That way when you flex the ab crunch, it does not interfere with the paint. The lining of the leg, the leg does not get basically cut in half when you crunch the abs. So luckily this one turned out nicely. The only real issue on him, the lines are pretty straight on the gauntlets, but they're a little bit faint. Some of the silver is bleeding into the belt a little on some of the areas, and then the red is off on the middle of the buckle, and he does have a small black speck on his butt that I noticed. But other than that, pretty nice. The joints are really tight. In fact, since Michael already paid me for this figure, I'm not gonna try to pop the hands off. They were on there really tight, so he'll probably need to heat those up and get those off. The White Tiger, the other White Tiger, who's next to Scarlet Spider-Man there, the her right breast was dented, in the package, so I did not keep that one. I noticed both of them, the leg joint on the left side was not quite lined up, so there's a little bit of a uneven gap there, but not super noticeable. And then the elbows were extremely tight, but I was able to articulate those, break those in without breaking the figure, thank goodness. But overall, the paint looks good on her. And Craven, the other Craven that I decided not to keep, it has some black spots on the chest. The mustache is a little bit crooked, and the the elbow on his right arm is, the peg is, or the arm was twisted or warped in the package, so the the joint there is starting to separate, so it definitely didn't want him. Also, the belt was not attached. It would not stay attached on him, so returning that figure for sure. But overall, Craven, I'm very happy with. I think he's probably my favorite figure from the wave. Also, the spear on the other one was warped in the package a little bit worse than this one. The Rhino, since the head comes with the Scarlet Spider-Man, I was able to look at 3 different heads, and this one has the best eyes. Most of them are a little bit off, and this one is just slightly, but it's not super bad. Also, the paint on his teeth turned out a little bit better on this one as well. The major disappointment is the neck, where he can only look up just slightly. So what I'm planning to do, I'm going to go ahead and keep this torso that one of them comes with Misty Knight, the other one with White Tiger. I'm going to carve out with my Dremel the neck, probably about a centimeter out here, so that he'll be able to lift his head up higher. Slings showed a quick little video on Facebook that you can get him in a running pose and then use some wax to half the head, stick it on there so you can actually see him coming at you other than looking at his horns. So yeah, I'm glad I was able to get 2 torsos, and also I'm going to keep the. I am getting another arm for a chameleon, so I am getting, or I should say, another chameleon figure, so I can have both versions of Rhino, and on this one fill the holes in with some sculpt and paint those. So it's when you've got the more classic look for Rhino, you don't have those exposed holes, which are a little bit ugly in my opinion. The Superior Venom, I think, is one of the weakest figures in the wave. The paint is faint in the middle there, just like the one that I sold previously. It's not super bad, it's pretty easy for most people to touch up. Otherwise, the lines look pretty good. The paint on the head turned out pretty well. The lack of bendy wire in those tentacles is a huge bummer. I've already seen Jason Clendenning make his own tentacles to plug in the back there, and that'll probably be pretty popular for most people to do. I think he clipped the tips off of these tentacles and affixed them to the bendy wire ones that he made, and turned out pretty good. I think they're, he's going to give you a hell of a lot more posability options. So I'm going to sell that one tomorrow as well. So bon voyage to him. And Chameleon, not much to say about him other than the heads. I do have some large wrestling figures that I think are going to work well with that hammerhead head. The J. Jonah Jameson, this is actually the first JJ that I will have owned, because I don't have any of the previous Jonahs that we got in the past. The only thing, major disappointment I think for a lot of people, I know Shartimus complained about it, is not having the drum magazine for the Tommy gun. It would have been cool that if they gave us this weapon that comes with a removable drum magazine, which is pretty cool. And what I'll probably do, since I am getting another chameleon, is Dremel a hole in the bottom, and then you can basically have a drum magazine for your Tommy gun. So hopefully that will work out. And yeah, it's cool that he's a pretty simple figure, but he does come with all the spare heads and the 3 weapons. So not too shabby, pretty good value on him. The Misty Knight, every single one that I have seen has got messed up eyes. This one is not as bad as a lot of the other ones I've seen. It's definitely better than the other one that I picked up from Target. In fact, all of the figures that I picked up at Target had worse paint applications than the ones I got from Toys R Us. So I don't know if they're coming from different factories or what's going on with that. If they have better QC for Toys R Us figures than they do for Target, I don't know. That's just the way my case, the two cases that I picked up, turned out. So it's just weird that all the ones from Target were worse than the ones I got from Toys R Us. I think every single one of these, with the exception of Chameleon, came from Toys R Us, so I'm keeping all the best ones. The Misty Knight, the only thing that's not as good on this figure is the gold trim on the front of her costume. Is a little bit faint. The gun is very rubbery, so that's a huge disappointment. It is warped quite a bit in the holster. That's how they ship it, in the holster instead of in the blister pack. So that's kind of a bummer that that they do that, because it just gets warped there in the holster for, sitting in there for an extended period of time. But not a bad figure overall. I wish that they had given her double jointed elbows and or a bicep swivel. So yeah, I'm getting tired of the females getting cheated on those points of articulation. But yeah, she's still not a bad figure. Ghost Rider, I was initially going to just keep one of them and turn him into a Red Skull, which Joseph Blake, aka Pharaoh Black, actually gave me the idea, because initially I was going to try to get another Star-Lord and use that for a Red Skull, but obviously you want, since Red Skull is black, you want to go with black. And did notice now that this arm is extremely loose, the left arm here at the elbow, so hopefully I can fix that. I'm going to keep both Ghost Riders that I have, because I actually do need a Ghost Rider. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the character, but it's always good to have one, especially now that I have Mephisto and Blackheart. So he is pretty damn good. The paint on this one is a little better than the one that I initially was going to return. Mostly in the trim on his costume, on the jacket there, on the collar and on the top, or on the front of the jacket. It's better on the other. Well, actually, better on this one than on the other one. But yeah, that's disappointing about that that elbow. So I'll have to see when I take the other one out of the package if it's got the same issue. So overall, very nice wave. Definitely try to pick them up if you can. And yeah, let me know what you guys think of the ideas I have for doing modifications. And yeah, please subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the like button, share with your friends, and I always love hearing back from you guys, so please leave a comment below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later.
That's crispy.